大丈夫です。はい。それじゃあ時間になりましたので、始めます。
We will now start the press conference. Because of COVID restrictions, we have maximum number of attendees here. Members of the press club, free journalists, and from Foreign Press Center and magazine media. We have journalists in attendance here. From Japan National Press Club, distribution will be live here on the floor as well as online, and questions for Japan National Press Club members will be accepted on the floor or via online. We have here with us Mr. Shohei Ohtani of Los Angeles Angels. 23 games, and he had 46 home runs, 100 runs batted in, and he was a home run derby. He also played in home run derby, and he has received numerous accolades this season. He had a spectacular season this year. And Japan time, November 19 is the day when MVP award will be announced, which we are looking forward to very much. And this is the third time that we welcome him at Japan National Press Club. The first time was on November 11, 2017, when Mr. Ohtani announced that he wanted to have a go at playing in the major league through the posting system. The second time was when he finished his first season with the Angels in November 2018 after winning the Rookie of the Year. In the following years, this is the third time that he has come back. I, Masahide Miyauchi of Sports Nippon Newspapers, and Hiroki Natori of Hochi Shimbun will be serving as moderators today. Thank you for having me. First, we will have a brief remarks from Mr. Ohtani, then Mr. Natori and I will ask a few questions, after which we will take questions from the floor and online participants for those of you who are registered through Japan National Press Club. And this is how Q&A session will be conducted for those journalists who are participating through Japan National Press Club. We will be accepting questions both from the floor and via online, and questions sent online can be sent through Q&A, and we will be reading your questions on your behalf. Please enter your affiliation, your name and question in one message. And we are accepting questions in Q&A box starting now. Mr. Ohtani, the floor is yours.
Good morning. In coming back to Japan, from the people in the media, I have had many requests. But rather than responding to each inquiry, one outlet by one outlet, I thought that it would be difficult. And since this was an opportunity that was given to me by the Japan National Press Club, I thought that I'd be able to answer the questions from many of you. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Now we will take questions. First, I would like to start with a question. You are a real two-way player, and you had a great success as a two-way player this season. And right before the end of the season, your comment was that you thoroughly enjoyed yourself playing in a large number of games. On the other hand, the numbers you achieved are the minimum, and you had to bring to this level sooner, was also your comment. In the last 2 years, especially last year, you were successful, but you were also battling injuries. In the first year, in 2018, you hurt your elbow and you went through Tommy John's surgery to reconstruct your ligament in your right elbow. And in 2019, in the fall, in September, you had a surgery on your left knee of the patella, lateral patella bone, and you came back, but you had your elbow trouble again, and you concentrated on batting last year. And in the meantime, what were you feeling as you played, and how did you care yourself physically to prepare for this season? Were there any point in time when you were very depressed? Now that you're so successful this season, can you discuss how you felt? Well, it was a long question. I don't know where to start, but yes, I suffered from injuries, and mentally sometimes it was difficult, but I believe that I will be able to pitch. And the doctor who conducted a surgery on me and trainers who trained for me all said that I will be able to pitch, and I believed in that. So I was a bit anxious, but I was not frustrated. I don't think there's anything that I can tell you now that after this season.
And let me ask you a question. This question is about this season. It's been 1 month since the end of the season. In this season, of the hitters and pitchers that went up against, who was the most impressive to you as a pitcher as well as a hitter? Any hitter that was memorable, or any batter that was memorable for you? Well, in Scherzer, that I went up against in the All-Stars, was quite memorable. He is a pitcher that was aspiring to from very young age. I wanted to go up against him sometime, and therefore that was quite impressive. In terms of the batter, all batters were so great. Guerrero, Perez. I cannot really pinpoint one person. That would be rather difficult for me.
Now, Mr. Ohtani talked a little about All-Stars now. So after the All-Stars game, well, first you played in the home run derby, and Japanese baseball fans were saying that players who played in home run derby suffered from poorer stats after the all games. That is the jinx. But according to the data, actually, your stats were slightly down after All-Stars games. And how do you analyze that? What do you think was the reason that your stats declined a little, and how are you planning to prepare for the next season? There is no one factor. Looking at the total picture, for thinking about the balance of the team overall, we have to think about how to play and against the same pitcher. Depending on the situation I'm in, when I'm on the plate, I have to play differently. So in the second half of the season, it was more difficult.
About the second half, one of the factors that brought down your record is that from the next season onwards, since you'll be marked greatly, so it's going to be a lot of walks, intentional walks. Any way to respond and deal with those intentional walks? When core batters are leaving the bench, next year, that is not going to be the case. Better batters than me is going to be in the lineup. So I don't think it's going to be like this year. And even if that happens again, based on the experience this year, I would like to keep cool-headed and do my job. And I'm sure that that will lead to a good result.
I have a question for you as a pitcher. During the middle of the season, I think it was still when you were going through the process of rehabilitating from Tommy John's surgery. And I think you were saying that you will be improving and control and the speed of the ball and power of the ball. Which do you think will improve further next season? What was best was the number of innings that I was able to play. And I was getting used to my body, including where I went through surgery, and I was feeling better and better. And I hope I can start the season, next season, in this way. And I'm sure control, power, speed will improve, and the rest is control and mechanic. And I also have to take good care of my body.
This is going to be my last question. This isn't about yourself per se, but Nippon Ham, where you used to play with. A new general manager, Shinjo, has assumed his position, and spring camp was quite a focus of media coverage, and I'm sure that you have heard about that in the news. Nippon Ham. Any encouragement for the team? Any observations for the team, please? Kuriyama-san will be stepping down, so I will be missing him. But I think it's going to be very interesting. Simply put, the viewers, spectators can watch the games with a lot of excitement. Even people who are not familiar with baseball, if they could enjoy more, that would be good. So regardless of whether that's a team that I was with or not, I would like to just watch them play with a great level of interest. Thank you.
Now
I will be taking questions from the members of the Japanese National Press Club. Those of you who are in the room, if you have a question, please raise your hand. And please give us your name and affiliation, just your organization's name. You don't have to mention your department. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Yes. Gentleman seated in the first row who is wearing glasses. I'm a free journalist, student, and I'm also a Tokyo Shimbun reporter. You had a great success, and all the people in Japan were suffering from COVID pandemic, but were encouraged by you. We're happy to see you succeed. That was the impact that you had. So as one Japanese, I'm very appreciative of what you have accomplished. And this may sound like a cliche request, but I think this press conference and news will be watched by a great number of Japanese children. You've given them courage. So from Mr. Ohtani, a message from you to the children of Japan. As a player, give dream, give courage. That is not what is on my mind, but if that is how people understood, I'm very happy. And people feel that way because of their pure feeling, pure emotion. That's wonderful. And children who play baseball, I think I'm sure are aspiring to be like the great players. I myself would like to be someone who children will look up to, and I would like to do my best to achieve that level. And I also cheer for the kids in Japan.
Next question, please. Yes, go ahead. Hokkaido Bunka Hoso, my name is Hiroka. Thank you very much for your great performance this season. Earlier, you mentioned Kuriyama Hideki, manager of Nippon Ham, and he has stepped down as manager. Mr. Kuriyama, for you, he was a great person to encourage you to go and play two-way, and where you start your professional career in professional baseball. He was a person who was deeply involved in your career building. The time you spent under Mr. Kuriyama, and how that led to where you are today, and to the fans in Hokkaido who continue to cheer you on. Can you give us a message? I'm so grateful for Mr. Kuriyama. At that time, we had a lot of conversations. If I had not joined Nippon Ham, I don't think I would be here in this way. So I will miss him, but he's a person who had done so successfully over so many years. I don't know what he will do next, but I would like him to spend a little time in a relaxed manner, and then I could do my best in that interim period. And for the fans in Hokkaido, I haven't been able to go to Hokkaido, so I can't see them directly, but through TV screens, if they could cheer me and encourage me, that would be great. And the 5 years I spent at Fighters, I will never forget those years as I continue onward. Thank you.
Next question, please. Then a lady seated over there, please. Ishida from Mainichi Broadcasting. You have given us courage through your wonderful play this season. So long as I watch you on TV, it seemed that you were thoroughly enjoying yourself playing on the big league. To be prepared both physically and mentally, I think it's very important. And I would like to ask how you prepared mentally, what you go through to prepare yourself mentally. And as one citizen, it's a naive question, but even for you, Mr. Ohtani, do you feel down sometimes? Do you feel like complaining? And when you feel down, how do you overcome that? And who do you complain to? Of course, I feel down. And this year, towards the end of the season, since after I joined the major league, mentally, psychologically, the team was not winning, and we didn't have much prospect of going beyond the regular season as we played towards the end of the season. So in the latter half of the season, psychologically, it was more stressful. And of course, I feel down occasionally when I can't hit or when my pitch is hit. But every day we have game. In case of Major League, we have to play every day and we have results, be it a good result or bad result. So every day I reflect on what was good and what was bad. And I think that in itself is something that I feel happy about. It's not something you get the experience in ordinary life, and having that experience in itself is wonderful, and I'm very thankful. And I'm able to have that experience because I'm able to play. When I was injured, I was not able to play. So even feeling down included, it was a wonderful year.
Next person, please. Yes, go ahead. Yamamoto from NHK. Thank you for the opportunity. Having come back to Japan, and you have been receiving so many awards, MVP from the players as well as Silver Slugger Award. What is your reaction? How have you felt in receiving these awards? I'm thankful, personally speaking. I'm looking toward next year already. I want to be able to receive those awards next year again. I would like to make that mental switch now to look forward. The achievements I have made this year, I'm very appreciative that they are being recognized in this fashion. But I would like to switch my mindset, look towards next year. I have one more question. I don't know if it is in response to your success this year, but major league players, some are expressing about going two-way, and there are some who have expressed that intent amongst professional players, not just children, but other professional baseball players. They are starting to think about going two-way. What do you think about this trend? Personally speaking, that is great. I'm very happy about it because this is being accepted. Just the fact that there is such an environment of accepting such a way of playing, I'm very thankful. And in Major League, there are very good players. So I'm sure that they will do very well pitching or hitting. There are many such players. So I'm interested into looking at those potential players perform in that way. And do you wish to go up against those two-way players in the future? Yes, that sounds exciting. Thank you.
At this point in time, we would like to accept questions that were sent online from the members of Japan National Press Club. We have received some questions online. Saito-san, Nikkan Sports. Please use the microphone to ask question. Saito-san, can you speak? Hello. It seems that there is a technical trouble, so we will first ask questions that were sent via email from Iwate Nippo Saito-san from your hometown. First, All-Stars featured you at the same time as your senpai from the same high school, Yusei Kikuchi. How did you feel about this, being in the All-Stars with the compatriot who attend the same school? And when did you think that you were hitting good this season? Mr. Kikuchi and I were able to be in the All-Stars at the same time as happy, and I think the managers and coaches were even happier. We autographed together and sent the autographs to our high school, and if we can play in the All-Stars every year together, that would be wonderful. And as for Home Run Derby, that was a very refreshing, precious experience. And it's a power fight at the top level. To be able to take part in that was something that I was very happy about. And I was able to play in the Home Run Derby, and I felt that I can improve myself further. I can aim for higher level. The result was unfortunate, but given another chance, I would very much like to have a go at it again.
Next question. Yes. please. Nakazo from Yomiuri Shimbun. Sometimes you are already somebody who can change someone else's life. In 2019, Shohei, there is a boy by the name of Shohei with a heart disease, and you went to visit him. And the mother and the father went to the US for treatment, and they were soliciting donations because they needed funds. And you went to visit this boy in hospital, and that was reported widely. And as a result, the targeted amount of money, several hundreds of millions of yen, was donated. And this boy, Shohei, had a chance of receiving that surgery, but unfortunately, he passed away at just 1.5 years of age. But those donations was channeled to travel expenses of 2 other children to save their lives. So this father and mother of boy Shohei, they told me when I interviewed them that they are appreciative of your relationship with the boy Shohei. Now, any memories about your relationship with this boy Shohei? And Yomiuri Kodomo Shimbun, a newspaper for children we published, and you talked about your message to children, but especially boys who play baseball, who are struggling to get better. Do you have any advice to them as to what kind of mindset they should have in trying to make improvements? Those are my 2 questions. Now, about that, well, I'm not involved in the publication, so I do not know. But a lot of donations have been gathered. That is not my doing. It is attributed to the heart and sympathies of each one person that made donations. It's regrettable that the surgery was not conducted in time to save Shohei's life. But if that became a catalyst for many other kind-hearted people to make donations to save children's lives, that would be great, because that will lead to saving children's lives. So those donations, I would feel like helping out if I can. And about the message to children who are playing baseball, when you're in elementary school and junior high school, I don't think they will face any setbacks, because that's the time that they can really unleash their potential. It's just a matter of having the right mindset that they can grow, they can get better. So have high aspirations and try to make improvements. If you have a goal of getting better, then I'm sure they will be able to realize their dreams. Thank you.
ちょっと回線がつながらなかったですが、日刊スポーツの斉藤さん、
We
マイ
have
ク。
Saito-san from Nikkan Sport. Once again, earlier there was a technical trouble, but Saito-san, please turn on your microphone and start your question. Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you. Oh, you can hear me? Sorry about the earlier trouble. Mr. Ohtani, good job in this current season. You said that you sometimes feel down. In the major league, you had injury and you recovered from injury a number of times. You were highly motivated, but sometimes you may not have been as successful as you like. And sometimes you may have lost confidence in yourself, but each time you have come back from that. And what is the biggest factor for that resilience? First is the fans who come to the ballparks. No matter what the results are, the fans come to the ballpark, and I would like to see them having a good time. And there are aspirations that I have, and I simply could not give up pursuing those aspirations. So I in the training every day. I kept these aspirations.
はい。ちょっと時間に限りがありますので。
There is so much time that we can allocate to questions. We want to take as many questions as possible, so please limit yourself to one question per person. We have another question from CX Fuji TV, Sakanushi-san. Please turn on the microphone and ask a question online. My name is Sakanushi from Fuji TV. In our program, every day we report your performances. And many viewers are saying that they make it a routine to watch your performance. Now, to Japanese fans, their excitement and their cheering for you. Have you been able to feel that Japanese fans are cheering for you? In US, I wasn't watching Japanese TV, so I didn't see that over on TV. In Clubhouse, reporters weren't coming into the clubhouse for the past 2 years, so I didn't have many opportunities to hear the voices of Japanese fans. Thank you.
会場の方お願いします。
Questions from the floor once again. Yes, lady, please. I am Mori from Bloomberg. After going to Los Angeles in the US, do you think you have changed? I don't think I have changed. I have always been myself, and even now, I'm always the same myself. I don't think there is anything that I changed. After returning to Japan, what did you eat? Yesterday, until yesterday, I was quarantining at home. So I haven't been able to go out to eat. I was eating at home. Thank you.
どうぞ。
Next question, please.
いや、そちらの前の2列、はい。ラジオ局日本放送の遠藤と申します。
Nippon Hoso, Endo is my name. Thank you very much. Now, earlier, there was this discussion about Kuriyama Hideki, the former manager. You said that you would like him to have some relaxing time. The next manager for Samurai Japan, he's a promising candidate. It's 2023, so 2 years ahead. But if he becomes the manager of Samurai Japan, and if he asks you to lend him a hand, I would like to see you being called to join Samurai Japan. What would happen if you get that invitation? I'll think about it after I'm invited. It's some time away, and including my condition, if I feel that, well, I would have to be in such a condition to be able to make a contribution. So together with Japanese baseball players, their professional baseball players level is very high. So I need to maintain myself at that level. And until I get in a position to be invited to join, I really can't think about that. 4 years ago, you said that you want to be the #1 player. So in that sense, including this season and over the past 4 years, how close have you been able to get to your goal? And if there's still something missing, what is it? Yes, there are many things that are still missing, but toward that goal, surely I believe that I have been able to elevate myself. That is something that I can confidently say. But what would be the criteria for being #1? That is ambiguous, and that is a good part of it. I will continue to improve myself to get to my goal. Thank you.
Next question, please. Yes, a reporter over there. Yes, please. I'm Sato from Kahoku Shimpo. Thank you for taking my question. This is the 10th anniversary of the March 11 earthquake in East Japan, and I think you had much thought about it as a person coming from Tohoku. What did you think about this 10th anniversary? And you were able to achieve a very good result this year on the 10th anniversary. What are your thoughts on that? No matter how many years pass, feelings do not change. It might have been a milestone year since the 10th anniversary, but I was a high school when that earthquake occurred, so I will never forget. My hometown, Iwate, and the vicinities, those people who were watching me closely, I think they will be very happy to see me succeed. And I'm very encouraged by them. And if they see me play and are encouraged, that makes me very happy. And if there are more of such people, I'm even more motivated to play and to do my best.
Next person, please. Hello, Mr. Otani. You're from Yomiuri Terebi. My name is Miyamoto, former Fighters player. Otani Shohei being so successful in the world, and he has come back to Japan with big fanfare. Let us give him a big hand of welcome. Long time no see. How are you today? Thank you very much. Now, you did admit that sometimes you feel down. When you feel down, as a major leaguer or as an athlete, to be successful, you need to have a fulfilling life, both public and private. So with respect to baseball, you have the support from the team. In your private life, you're playing in a foreign land and you have overcome surgeries. Very difficulties have been surmounted. Who do you owe the most? Who are you indebted to the most? If it is possible, please let me know who it is. And to your family that are cheering you on in Japan, and for the friends and acquaintances from Japan, if somebody has supported you in their words, please let me know. Well, it's Ippe-san that has supported me the most. I'm indebted to him the most. We always work together. So for sure, Ippe-san is who I am indebted to the most. What was the other question? Your family in Japan? Now you can communicate with them quite easily. And I was quite surprised to hear that sometimes you feel down, but to raise you up, I'm sure that your family members gave you some encouragement in words. If you remember any words that have supported you and motivate you or made you feel that you can rise again when you're feeling down. I really do not consult with somebody when I'm feeling down. So I really can't recall such words. Don't you communicate with your family members much? Sometimes, but not really. So it's just casual conversation that you have with your family members and not much more. Okay. I wish you more success going forward. Thank you.
We will have some more questions that were sent email about next season. Manager Joe Madden said that not just two-way, but the three-way opportunities is what he's thinking about. So not only as a designated hitter, but as an outfielder, would you like to continue to play? After pitching in several games, I played a defense, so I agree. And from the start of the game to play as an outfielder that is planned by the management. So it depends on the plans for next season. If I'm able to play in the outfield, that gives me another option. And especially towards the end of the game, if I can play in the outfield, that will give a team an option of playing other players. So it would be better to have as an option.
はい、じゃあ今度はまた会場の方。
Yes, next question from
女性の方。
Yes. My name is Ando from TV Asahi. Great work and thank you very much for this opportunity. Now, in this season, looking back on your performance, what was the most impressive play? What was the scene that is burnt into your memory? Can you give us a reason also why that is so memorable to you? The games where DH was released was quite memorable. And in this season, until the end of the season, as I continue to play on, as a game, as a starting game, people being able to start without any anxiety, that was a very important game. So I think it was very big that the game was started in a balanced way. With your home runs, of all the home runs that you have made, what was the one that was the most memorable? Not any one particular. Well, the fact that I was able to hit 46 home run, that is the most memorable. I wish you well in the next season as well.
じゃあそちらの男性。
Next question, please. Yes, gentlemen over there, please. I'm Hosokawa from Iwate Nippo. Your alma mater, Hanamaki Higashi High School, in the fall tournament, won for the first time. And there are many players in your former high school who are playing, wishing to even exceed your level. And Mr. Hiroshi Sasaki, manager at your high school, old high school, could you send them a message? I hope that they will go after winning the tournament. I was also playing to win the tournament, but it is not easy. And Koshien tourney is a major objective, but I hope they will go after a win. Your message for manager? Yes, I am keeping in touch with him. So there's no particular message I would like to send here, but I'm sure as a manager, he will feel the happiest when the team wins. So I hope the team will win.
はい、じゃあまたオンラインの方で。
Next question, online question. We have a hand up from overseas. Mainichi newspaper, Los Angeles Bureau, Fukunaga-san, please turn on your microphone. Can you hear me? Yes, we can. Thank you very much. In this season, technically, improvements made, improvements that you feel you have been able to make, pitching form or batting swing, technically, what improvements have you been able to make? Number one is my physical was strong. It's not technique, but that contributes the most to the technique. So basically, by having solid physical body, you can make your movements. So number one is my physical aspect. Your form, you made changes and amendments, it seems. In doing that, can you elaborate how you have made improvements to your form? Every year, be it good or bad, I make some minor adjustments, both for pitching and batting. Even if you're doing well, I continue to make fine adjustments and fine-tune my form. So there were many instances I did that. Thank you.
A question from the floor. Yes, please. Yanagiwa from Sport Nippon. During the World Series, you had 2 weeks off, and I think you were training yourself, and you just completed your self-isolation period. How are you training? Are you playing catch? How did you spend the isolation period? For about 2 weeks, I didn't do much in the United States. I was resting myself, and after coming back to Japan, including the self-isolation period for 2 weeks, I was training at home. And since yesterday, I was able to go out and about, so I will start throwing after this press conference. There was a mention of the prize, but where are you going to hear the announcement of MVP? I don't know where I will be.
Next person, please. Hello, Jonah from NP News. You are a high income earner and high taxpayer, but having lived in the US, Japanese tax system, or Japanese taxes, any observations, any requests, any opinions? As one of the high taxpayers, if you can give us your thoughts. Los Angeles has high tax rates. So what I earn, slightly more than half of what I earn has to be paid in taxes. So I paid my taxes. It's not that I consume a lot. I don't really spend. So it's just goes into my savings. Thank you.
Now, yes, journalist over there, please. Radio Tokyo FL Yuno is my name. Looking at you from Japan in the second year this year, it seems that you have awakened, including the number of home runs you've hit. So in comparison to the past seasons, I think in terms of skill and technique, I think you have changed, but have you changed, switched mentally? Is there anything that you changed? The way of thinking, I did not change, but I had a series of injuries, and last year wasn't such a good season. And including opportunities, I was feeling that I will not be given so many opportunities. That is how I was feeling last year, but mentally, there is no conscious change I made. But it's natural to think that I want to win when I play, and it was a struggling season, and I was each year I'm even more motivated to win.
Now, we would like to take questions from online viewers. Yes, we do have a question via email. A soft question for you. In your daily lives, you're leading your lives in the US, and you have Mr. Mizuhara, an interpreter for you. You're spending a lot of time with them. About the timing of starting a family, getting married, do you have any thoughts about that? Timing? I'm really not thinking about the right timing. If there's a good timing, I might consider it. I think this is something that you cannot force to happen. It just naturally happens. Is it still some time out? Right. I think it's still well ahead of me.
Next question. You did a good job this past season, and after going to the United States, it will be 5th year next year, and you have continued to play as a two-way player. And is there any change as a two-way player when you compare how you're playing in the US and how you are playing in Japan? There's no change, But in the first year in the US, I think in the US, well, there were some skepticism, but it seemed that there was more readiness to accept a two-way player. I think in comparison, in my first year in Japan, I think that acceptance was narrower. That is how I feel. So right now, I don't have to think about anything. I only have to achieve results. In that sense, that may be a change, but I haven't made any major changes. Second question, so you would like to continue to play as a two-way player? Yes, I have played this way thus far, and I'm sure I can improve more. So I would like to continue to play as a two-way player.
Next question, please. Sugai from Hokkaido Shimbun. Thank you for the great work. Now, my question is, 2023, Nippon Ham's new stadium will be completed. About the news of the new stadium, are you concerned about what kind of a stadium will be built? Are you interested? Well, I do get such information from the relevant parties, and I wonder what it's going to look like. Yes, I'm interested. You get images and pictures of that? Yes. So this is some time out. Someday, you might be interested in play in the new stadium of Nippon Ham. You have any such ideas with Nippon Ham fighters, you mean? I'm not really thinking about that right now because I want to really play to my full potential in the Major League Baseball, to do my best there. That is all I'm thinking about now. So going forward, what will happen, I really don't know. Right now, I'm just focused on playing in Major League Baseball.
We will have a question that was sent online, or HTV Fukuda-san, you have raised your hand. Please turn your microphone on. HTV Fukuda is my name. Thank you for taking my question. This season under Joe Madden, after pitching on the next day, you were playing on consecutive days. I think you are able to have a feel of playing throughout the year. And what do you look forward to next season? Even before the start of the season, it's not decided that that is how I was to play. Where I felt I'm able to play, I communicated with the manager, and more than we thought, I was able to play in more games throughout the season. And now that I know I can play in more games, I think that is good information that I can use next season. So you think you can do even better next season? Including batting, but especially pitching, the number of innings is not so high. So if I'm able to pitch over more innings, I think I will be able to achieve even better results.
Next question. Akagi, a freelance journalist. Tokyo FM local correspondent I served as. Thank you very much for your time. Now you talk about your physical strength. Now that you have completed your season, in terms of maintaining your physical condition, diet, I believe, is a very important element. Anything you changed in your diet? Any particular attention that you have paid to your diet during the season? Yes. During the season, buffet-style meals at ballparks, that is how it is served. So of the served food, I just pick up what I like. And when I go back to the hotel, it's only the food that is served at the hotel I can eat. So during the season, calorie and the amount of exercise, I think about the balance between the two. So it's the off season, like right now, is when I have to be really conscious about the nutrients that I take. And in your daily lives, inspiration, you were saying that you find joy in finding inspirations in your daily lives. Now, in this season, what was the inspiration that you got in what kind of scene? I was throwing more cut balls this season, and that's because that was a very big contribution going into the second half. Split balls as well. Those two were very big. And in your daily lives, when you were doing something, it was an inspiration that came to you and you wanted to try it. Is that the case? Right, that's right. When I'm in bed and I suddenly get a feeling that that might be a good idea, that's the most interesting part. And I would like to try it out in my next game. That's the most interesting part. In this season, is that the inspiration you got in this season when you were in bed? Yes. At a casual moment, I get that inspiration. And then on the following day, I talk to the catcher and say that let's go for it. Thank you.
Next question, please. I'm Tanaka from Sankei newspaper. This season in Japan, the legendary Babe Ruth and you were compared in many of the media reports this year. How do you feel being compared to Babe Ruth? And how do you feel about Babe Ruth? Who is he to you? It is simply an honor to be even compared. And it is not just the statistics that he left, that he's great. And as a player, to be remembered for many years, there are not so many players who are remembered over many years, and that is something as a player I must aspire to. I have never seen him play live, but many people know Babe Ruth. It's wonderful, and I would like to be a player like him in that sense.
Next person. Ono from TV Asahi. Thank you for the good work during the season. Now, there were many challenges identified in the season, but in the off-season, what are you going to focus on? And your target performance for next season, if you could talk about this, please. Number one is to maintain and improve my physical strength. That's number one. Including my injuries, I wouldn't say that I'm at 100% or 120%. I need to do better. So until I go into the camp, I have to improve that. Then I would probably make many findings about my skills. And later on, after I go into spring training, I would coordinate the rest and concrete targets in terms of your performance for the next season. If you have any numbers, targets for the next season. Number one is how many games that I can appear in, how many plate appearances, pitching appearances I can make. That is the most important. And the rest is I do my best. And the numbers will just come out at the end of the season. And I could just look back on those numbers to see whether it was good or not. But I need to stay healthy and continue to play game after game throughout the season.
Next question, please. Freelancer. I used to work for Yomiuri newspaper. My name is Saito. In the United States, about your success, some are oftentimes it is reported that it defies logic. It is on a different dimension, and these report about your play that is beyond expectation. How do you feel about such report? I am a player, so I don't feel anything special about what I'm doing, but since I'm playing in a different way than other players, that may appear as though it's different. But if I can continue to play over many years, then I think we can discuss how good the results are.
Next person, please. Nakahashi from Chugok Shimbun. Great season. Hiroshima player Suzuki is intending to get transferred to the major leagues. If that is to be realized next year, what kind of performance do you expect from him? And there might be a possibility of facing him in the major league game. I do not know whether he's going to go for the posting opportunity, and whether he wants to go or not, I really do not know. So the number that he will be able to realize after going there, I really cannot make predictions, because I cannot make predictions about myself. So when it comes to somebody else, every year improvements are made. The level is getting higher. If you're doing the same thing, you will not be able to leave good results. If I continue to do the same, I don't know whether I will be able to do better next year. So I need to make improvements every year. That will be the same for everyone. But he's my contemporary, so I continue to encourage him. What kind of impression do you have about Mr. Suzuki as a batter? I haven't faced him so many opportunities. I really don't know, but of the Japanese professional baseball, I think he's one step ahead of everybody else. So if there's a chance to go up against him in major leagues, that will be something that I can look forward to. I wish him well.
This will be the last question, since we have come to the end of the press conference. I'm Ikeba from TV Tokyo. Thank you for taking my question. In Japanese professional baseball, Mr. Matsuzaka decided to retire. For you, Mr. Ohtani, who is him to you, and the generation of players from Mr. Matsuzaka's generation, what do they mean to you? My impression is I have a very strong impression of him, of whether he will move to Boston or not. Looking back at his results, he's a fantastic player, and looking at the video of when he was playing, I'm impressed. He's an impressive player. So if possible, I wanted to see him as a pitcher when I was on the plate. And for many years, he achieved great results. So I hope he will be able to relax a bit, and I hope he will lead to further excitement in the baseball community. When you were younger, when you were playing baseball as a kid, did you look up to Mr. Matsuzaka? Were you encouraged by him? I always felt that he was cool. The way he throws, he winds up and throws, and that has become a rarity. So I always watched him throw. Thank you.
すべての質問を受け付けることができません。
We were not able to take all the questions, but since it is time, we need to close this session. Mr. Ohtani, we hope you the best of luck in the next season. A big success for you so that you can come back to this Japan National Press Club again next year. And we have a gift for you that will be presented from Mr. Miyauchi.
はい、大谷選手、本当に長い時間ありがとうございました。
Otani-san, thank you very much for today.
はい、ご協力ありがとうございました。お疲れ様でした。
お疲れ様でした。